I set this goal of trying to collect every single Pokemon card master set by the end of 2026. I'm doing every unlimited variant, main series set release, and then specialty set releases. I'm not worrying about first edition. It's a crazy journey. I'm actually recording shorts every day, posting those here and on TikTok. It's just like, it's a nice little break from the market talk, all that stuff, all the business like stuff that I have to go through. Like, it's a lot of fun. I love master sets. The idea, it's literally the epitome of collecting. Like, collect them all. That's what it is all about. And ever since the release of Obsidian Flames, I have been collecting 2 master sets. Well, putting together 2 master sets. Pretty much with every single set release. Number one, I like to just have for my collection, and 2, to give 1 away. I give 1 master set away every single set release to 1 lucky subscriber. So make sure you are subscribed down below if you want to win a master set of maybe Phantasmal Flames or whatever set might come after it. Like, that's literally all you have to do is you just have to make sure you are subscribed. We get a binder donated to us by The Unlucky Collector. If you don't know who that is, follow him. He's on Instagram at The Unlucky Collector. He does all the etch work for our master set giveaways. This is what he put together for Phantasmal Flames, which we are literally going to start on like next week because Phantasmal Flames comes out. Shouldn't be too bad of a set because it's a little bit smaller. So we're going to put together this entire master set. We won't open much. We'll buy a lot of the singles that we need, and then we will give it away to one of you. So make sure that you are subscribed. This is my master set for Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic Evolutions is the only set since Obsidian Flames that I only put together 1 master set of. I put together 1 master set because I didn't open much of anything. And number 2, I was really frustrated with the release of Prismatic Evolutions. It was such a frustrating set release because nobody could find anything, right? Like, it was just this terrible time for collectors. So this is my master set for Prismatic Evolutions. As I continue to collect every single Pokemon card master set, it's completely empty. There is literally nothing in it. It is empty, and I've said literally like 600 times already in the first 2 minutes of this video. It's empty. There is nothing in it. This is the only Pokemon card set that I have absolutely nothing for. I'm sure I've got commons and uncommons. I'm sure I've got some reverse holo, some Pokeball reverse holo, some Master Balls probably lying around in bulk that I could dig out and start. But this is like the last set that I've even started because it was so difficult. This is the one that I need to work on. And this is what our video today is about. Not me working on the Prismatic Evolutions Master Set, but Prismatic Evolutions is probably one of the most goated sets that's ever been printed because of the special illustration rares that are in it. But Pokemon completely missed the mark. Like, let's be honest here. By not adding and including any illustration rares in Prismatic Evolutions, there's a reason people call it traumatic executions. Because as soon as you open up a pack, while pull rates may still be standard from what we're used to in Scarlet and Violet, it feels like you get nothing ever. And then when you finally pull a special illustration rare, it's like an Ogerpon. And you're like, what? Like, that's it? That's what I got? An Ogerpon? Come on, like, get off of it. That's it, huh? And the difficulty of pulling one of those chase special illustration rares is so substantial that it becomes super frustrating to open up Prismatic Evolutions. That is why, if you are somebody who loves Prismatic Evolutions, now is actually a pretty good time to work on mastering the set because, as you can see, well, as you will see in this video, it probably will not get a whole lot cheaper than what it is right now. But the idea of opening up Prismatic Evolutions is just a terrible idea. It's just a terrible idea. Buying singles is definitely the route to go with that set. Yeah, I understand the gambling mentality, the aspect of it, where you could pull a God Pack, which is like never done before until Prismatic Evolutions. You can never pull a full God Pack in English. So, like, that's exciting. Booster pack prices starting to come down a little bit. You can probably find them for like $7 to $8 a piece, which is still above MSRP, but much better than what it's ever been. But take my advice. Hold Prismatic. Don't open it. Just hold it. If you see it on the shelves at MSRP, like, buy it. Like, that's great. It is going to increase over time because people are going to love opening Prismatic Evolutions, and that gambler mentality is going to be big for that set for years and years to come because it does have so many just fantastic artwork. works, but the idea of opening it up is just terrible, and I'm going to explain to you why in this video. So let's go. We talk about fun cost a lot in videos, just basically talking about Pokemon as a form of entertainment. Opening up Pokemon cards is supposed to be something that's enjoyable. It's supposed to be something that's fun, right? Like you do it with your family, you do it with your friends, you do it maybe by yourself in your car on a lunch break to like get a little break from like the normal life. Like it's supposed to be something that's super enjoyable, but everything that you do that's enjoyable, every form of entertainment, for the most part, you're going to have to pay something for. You go to a movie, you have to pay an entry fee for a ticket cost. You go to a sporting event, you're going to have to pay an entry fee to get into the venue, or a concert, or bowling. You know, you're going to have to pay something in order to get that entertainment. Really, it's not a whole lot different from Pokemon. The only big difference is that you might get something back out of it in terms of value. Now, you should never open up Pokemon cards and expect to get value out of it. That's not obviously a very good idea. You should never be like, oh, can't I just buy a booster box and then open it up and then sell the singles and I'll make money? That is never going to work. Like, this is a terrible idea. I actually used to think that. I don't know if other people did, but I actually used to think, like, when I first started my business back in like 2014, 2015, I was like, I wonder if I could just buy packs and just open them up and just sell the singles individually, like sell some of the commons, the uncommons. Like, I can just do that and make a few dollars, make $1 like each pack. That would be pretty cool. Then I could just keep opening up packs. It was a terrible, that was dummy phantom back then. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. But nowadays, with a set like Prismatic Evolutions, it's terrible. And this does take a long time to put together, researching and finding all of these values. And what I did basically is I took every single rarity and I found the price points that they're selling for. Now, a lot of it was actually pretty easy because the Pokeball reverses, everything is selling for $1 with the exception of like 2 cards, like every Pokeball reverse. So Pokemon introduced the Pokeball reverse and the Master Ball reverse into the English language with Prismatic Evolutions. It was something that was big with Pokemon 151 when that released in Japan. So they brought the Master Ball concept to English. It just didn't hit home very well with collectors because we lost out on that illustration rare mentality. So I don't know if Pokemon was like, well, Pokeball reverses and Master Ball reverses are hits. It just doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like you're getting much when you open up an ETB or a booster bundle and you pull like one area 0 under depth Pokeball reverse and that's it. Like that's it, all you get out of your booster bundle. It just doesn't feel that much. Every single Pokeball reverse in Prismatic Evolutions right now is $1, with the exception of Glaceon, which is like $2, and then the Umbreon, which I think is $3. $3 right here. Everything else is $1. Even the more playable ones, like Buddy Buddy Poffin is only $1, Area 0 Underdepths is only $1, Earthen Vessel is only $1, Professor Seda is $1. Like a lot of the trainers there's just been so much Prismatic Evolutions that have been opened, and because there's so many different print runs of those staple cards, even those are only selling for basically $1. So the value associated with that rarity is basically just $1. So what I did was I found the values of every single Pokemon card that you can basically pull from Prismatic Evolutions that might have some value associated with it. So each rarity, Pokeball reverses, Master Ball reverses, and then double rares, ultra rares, special illustration rares, and hyper rares, because there are no illustration rares. And then what we did is we took pull rate data that we found out from Prismatic Evolutions, and then we determined how much value you can expect to actually pull from a average booster pack of Prismatic Evolutions. So then what we did is we took the actual cost, the market cost of a Prismatic Evolutions pack, and then subtracted the expected value out of that pack to determine a fun cost of actually opening up a Prismatic Evolutions booster pack. So that way you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collecting dollars, because this is what my brain decides to do. I think it's fun to just determine, okay, if I go in and open up these 6 Prismatic packs that I got from this booster bundle, how much money should I really expect to lose on this? Like if I have duplicates, triplicates that I can move off of on TCG Player, like am I going to be able to recoup some of this value, and then maybe I'll be able to hit something big? Not in the Pokeball reverse category, because you're only ones that are selling for above $1, like I said, that Glaceon and then that Umbreon, that's pretty much it. A lot of those Pokeball reverses have completely crashed in price. The same is not said for Master Balls. Master Balls do have a little bit of value associated with them for many of them. Some of them are actually still really inexpensive, and that's why it's a fairly good time to work on mastering your set. Now, I know Prismatic Evolutions is a very, very like behemoth set when it comes to the idea of mastering it, because there are so many different cards that you need to get in your binder. So my idea for a master set, I know a lot of people like to include promos and things like that. I don't do that. Everything you can pull from a booster pack is something that I consider to be a master set. The only big thing is that you have 4 different variants of just about every single card, or at least 3 variants if it's a trainer card. So you have the normal holo, or the normal uncommon or common, and then you have the reverse holo variant of that, then you have the Pokeball reverse variant of that, and then you have the Masterball reverse variant of it. So like this execute right here at the top, the Masterball sells for $2, the Pokeball reverse sells for $1, but then you also have to get the normal version and the reverse holo version, and it's just a very bloated binder. But that's exactly what a master set would consist of for Prismatic Evolutions. Now the good thing is there's a lot of Master Balls that are relatively cheap, but you do have some that have a little bit of value associated with them, like the Executor right here, which is $11. Pinsir, even Budu, which was a very competitive card for a long time, that's fallen out of favor a lot. Could come back around, but it's fallen out of favor a lot. Currently selling for about $3. The Evolutions still do have a little bit of value with them, like this Leafeon right here, currently selling for $22. Cottoney's only at $1. Whimsicott's at $10. I'm not going to go through all these. I'll kind of just point out the more notable ones, like the Flareon right here, selling for $21. You've got the Vaporeon at $20. The Suicune's at $13. The Glaceon's at $20. The Jolteon's at $21. The Espeon's at $22. This whole line right here, Duskull, Dusclops, Dusknoir, used to be a little bit more expensive. Again, fallen a little bit out of favor competitively, and because of that, the price has dropped. Also, there are a lot of other variants that you can use of this same card, same attack, same ability and everything. So there are cheaper variants out there for competitive players to use, which is a really good thing that Pokemon does offer. So Dusknoir in there at $9. You do have $31 on the Sylveon. The Screamtail, which is a little bit playable, is at $8. Fluttermane and Monkey Dory both are playable as well. Those are both selling for $10 right there. Riolu's at $10. You can see the Blood Moon Ursaluna is sitting at $8. But for the most part, everything else is pretty much single digits. You've got $67 on the Umbreon. That's the most expensive one. But if you remember when the set originally dropped, that card was over $300. So it has fallen from grace like crazy. You've got $9 on the Houndoom, $8 on the Roaring Moon, $10 on the Eevee, $10 on the Dudunsparce, $7 on the Shaman. The Furfrow's at $6. For the most part, though, everything else is at $1, $2, $3, $4. Even like the Dreepy and the Dracoloak at $4 and $3 respectively. So relatively inexpensive for a lot of the Master Balls. If we look at the actual ultra rares, starting out with the double rare category, a lot of them have fallen very far, and part of the reason behind that is because that Eevee box deck that was really good competitively has really fallen off. It's not being used a whole lot at regional events or anything like that anymore, and when it was, it just wasn't as competitive as I think a lot of people were hoping it was. So it didn't make a good performance at the World Championships, and it's fallen out of favor a lot. So because of that, and the fact that a lot more Prismatic Evolutions has been open, so those cards are a lot more abundant out there, means that they have fallen in price a lot. And you also do have a lot of reprints in this set. So like the Hydrapple has already been printed before. The Teal Mask Ogerpon, which has been competitive before, has already been printed before. The Iron Hands has already been printed before. The Dragapult has already been printed multiple times. So you have all these different cards in here, like Iron Thorns, which have already been played and done well. It's just reprints of all of them. So for the most part, everything's selling for $2, with the exception of a couple cards. You have the Leafeon there at $3. You have the Flareon EX at $3. $4 on the Umbreon and $3 on the Eevee. Everything else is basically just bulk pricing when it comes to those double rares. When it comes to the A-Specs, again, just reprints of everything. So nothing new that Prismatic really brought to the game, and because of the reprints of Prime Catcher that we had, that's really crashed the price. Remember, it was in all the Dragapult battle decks, and that just meant that there was a whole lot more Prime Catchers that hit the secondary market, and it's also not the most played A-Spec anymore. Secret Box probably is. So because of that, it's fallen in price, and now every A-Spec is basically just $1 that you could possibly pull from Prismatic Evolutions. The Hyper Rares also not doing very well, with the exception of Pikachu EX. Pikachu EX, which saw a little bit of a bump. Obviously, Gold Card's doing a little bit better than what they were a few months ago, but still not great. Pikachu EX selling for $45, but the other ones are all single digits. So the Iron Leaves is only $5, the Teal Mask Ogerpon is $8, the Walking Wake is $6, and the Terapagos only $9. Then you go to the Ultra Rare category, which is just made up of Full Art trainers. There's no Full Art Pokemon or anything like that. And again, part of that does take away from the appeal of the set, the glamour of the set, like what you would normally get from opening up in a specialty set or even a main series set release where you can pull some of your favorite mons in at least full art versions. You don't have that in this set. You just have full art trainers, full art supporters, which are probably at like a all-time low as far as popularity goes. You do not have the demand and the desire to collect full art trainers, full art supporters, like what there used to be. And because of that, you do pull these fairly easily, and all of them are basically selling for bulk pricing. So Atticus is at $2, Aries at $2, Frenzen Paldea, probably the one that you might see go up over the years. Also the cheapest one at $2. So everything just selling for $2 when it comes to the ultra rare category. The big thing is the special illustration rare. That's why you open up a pack of Prismatic Evolutions, is to pull one of those special illustration rares. The problem is there's over 30 of them in the set, and since they didn't nuke the pull rates for Prismatic Evolutions, they didn't change them, they didn't make them better like what we've seen with past sets where they make some of those chase cards a little bit easier to pull. Think of Hidden Fates, for example, where they made full art shinies a little bit easier to pull. Think of, you know, some other specialty sets. Black Bolt and White Flare illustration rares got nuked pull rates a little bit, where it became a little bit easier to pull those illustration rares because there were so many more in the set. With this, Terrestrial Festival was a high-class set in Japan. So every single box that you would open up, you would guarantee yourself a special illustration rare, a secret rare of some sort. I guess it could have been just an ultra rare, but in most cases you would get an ultra rare and a special illustration rare. So when you open a box of Terrestrial Festival, it just feels a lot better because you know you're opening up 10 packs, you're getting a special illustration rare. We don't have that with Prismatic Evolution. So because of that, you're opening up approximately 70 packs in order to pull a special illustration rare. And like I said, you finally open up on the 70th pack, let's say, a special illustration rare, and it ends up being a Teal Mask Ogerpon, or it ends up being a Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon, and you're like, whoa, I finally pulled one, and it's not the mon that I want, or it's not an evolution. And because there is such a wide variety of special illustration rares in the set, more often than not, people do get disappointed. Yeah, there's times where you do pull that God pack, or you pull that Demigod pack, where it does have 3 special illustration rares in it, and then that gives you that little bit of high, that adrenaline kick that people want to open more, but it can be a false sense of security. So you got to be really, really careful with that. And the special illustration rare prices right now have gone down a lot. There's some of them that have started ticking back up, but Leafeon EX sitting there at $283 right now. Teal Mask Ogerpon, $26. So there's a wide range from the cheapest ones to the most expensive ones. Like you do have the Ogerpons that are selling for, you know, $20. You have the full art supporter ones, the special illustration rare supporters, which are selling for high 20s, low 30s. So there's this really wide range when it does come to those special illustration rares when you do finally pull one. Flareon's in there at $174. The Cerulege is in there at $138. Hearthflame Mask is at $22. The Vaporeon EX has dropped a little bit, so that one's down to $213. Glaceon is at $201. The Palafin, which was close to $100 for a long time, has fallen in half. That one's down to $53. We talked about the Wellspring Mask already. Maybe we didn't, but it's only $20 right now. Jolteon EX is at $168. The Iron Hands EX has fallen down to $44. You have Espeon EX at $222. Sylveon EX at $343. Iron Valiant, kind of a cool card, at $49. Iron Crown, which is actually my favorite SIR in the set outside of Blood Moon Ursaluna, that one's sitting there at $38. The Sandy Shocks EX is at $29. The Cornerstone Mask is only at $19 right now. The Umbreon, that's the big one, right? Like $1,205 on that one. That one has gone up a little bit. It's dipped, gone up, dipped, gone up. But at one point in time, it was below $1,000. Now it's starting to creep back up a little bit. Roaring Moon is in there at $261. Petrarunt is at $29. Goldango's at $60. Dragapult's at $87. Raging Bolt at $76. Then you have the EVX at $121. That one's dropped a little bit. There's that Blood Moon Ursaluna at $68. That one got pumped up a lot. Now it's retraced quite a bit down to $68. Terrapagos is in there at $36. Amarys is at $13. Crispin's at $26. Drayton's at $20. Janine's Secret Art is at $32. Kieran's at $27. And then the Lacey is at $35. So basically what we did is we calculated the average cost or the average value of each rarity category, and then multiplied that times your pull rate number. So basically, to break this down as simple as possible, the amount of packs it takes to pull a singular unit right here, so a double rare, for example, it's going to take you about 6 packs to pull them. So what we do is we typically go off of a booster box sample size, so 36 packs. We broke it down by ETB also, so you open up an Elite Trainer box, you should expect to pull about 1.57 double rares from that Elite Trainer box. If you open up a booster box sample size, which is 36 packs, packs, you should pull about 6 double rares from that booster box sample size. We say sample size because there's not a booster box of Prismatic Evolutions. You would have to buy like 4 Elite Trainer boxes, or, you know, 6 booster bundles, or whatever variant there might be, which totals 36 packs. The problem is the average price point is only $2.20 on those double rares. So that means on average, your booster box is only going to house about $13.20 worth of value in that double rare category, because they're all basically bulk pricing outside of, you know, that Umbreon EX, that EV EX, and the Leafeon EX. That's pretty much it. That sells for $3. So for the most part, you're just going to pull $2 EXs left and right. When it comes to the A-Spec category, you're going to pull 1 out of every 18 packs. Again, the problem is they're only worth about $1 a piece. So that means on average, your booster box sample size is only going to hold about $2 worth of value when it comes to those A-Specs. Ultra rares, again, just bulk pricing across the board. All of them are selling for $2 or less. So we just put $2 as a standard bulk pricing for a full art. You get 2.4 per booster box because 1 out of every 15 packs. So at an average price point of $2 per ultra rare, that means your booster box sample size, your 36 pack sample size, is going to yield you $4.80 worth of value in that ultra rare category. Your special illustration rare category is going to be a little bit better, but this is going to be the number that's probably skewed the most outside of Master Balls, because there is not really that consistency. You do have some special illustration rares that are only selling for about $20, and then you have a few of them that are selling for, you know, a few $100s. Then you also have that one, that Umbreon, that's selling for, you know, over $1,200. So it is weighted quite a bit. So you have to be very careful with this. Your average price point on special illustration rares is $129.31. Yeah, you could pull one of those Evolutions, which would be above this, or you could pull that Cerulege, which would be above this, or you could pull that Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, which is only $19. So that could really skew the data a little bit. Because of that, it takes you 77 packs to pull one. So your average per booster box is only about $60.46 on your average sample size. It's probably going to be a lot less than that, because more than likely you're not going to pull one. And statistically, it's probably not going to be one of that top 10, one of those top third, which is really driving up that average value cost. When it comes to hyper rares, most of them are fairly inexpensive, with the exception of Pikachu. Most of them are selling for $6, $7, $8. You get 1 out of every 90 packs, so about 1 out of every 3 booster box sample size, which is very similar to what we've experienced throughout the Scarlet and Violet generation. Your average price point on those is $14.60, which is skewed a little bit because of that Pikachu EX. That means on average, your booster box is going to give you about $5.84 worth of value. When it comes to Pokeball reverses, you get 1 out of every 3 packs. So you do get one fairly often, which is great. But the problem is they just don't feel like hits, right? Like they just don't feel as good as what an illustration rare does. That means you get about 12 of them for every 36 packs that you open. The average price point on them is basically $1.03 because it's driven up by that Umbreon. That means on average, your booster box is going to yield you about $12.36 worth of value. Master Ball reverses, obviously a little bit better, but you get them a lot less. So 1 out of every 22 packs, very similar to what we experienced with Pokemon 151 when it released in Japan. You got 1 per booster box, 1 out of 20 packs. This is 1 out of every 22 packs, probably closer to 1 out of 20, which means you get 1.64 out of your booster box sample size. Average price point on those Master Ball reverses is $7.51. Could pull an Evolution. You could pull that Executor, which is about $12, but you could also pull, you know, the Execute, which is only $1 or $2 or something like that. That means on average, your 36 pack sample size is going to present you with about $12.29 worth of value. So if we break all this down, we add all this up, that means on average, you can expect about $110.95. If you open up 36 packs of Prismatic Evolutions, you can expect about $111 in pulls. Plus, you do have some ancillary value, not a whole lot. Like you do have, you know, some playable cards and things like that, some bulk that is a little bit better than bulk, but for the most part, not great. So we only put about $10. You have code cards, about $10 worth of ancillary value in there. That means on total, you open up 36 packs, you can expect about $121 worth of value out of those packs. That breaks down to about $3.36 per pack. That means on average, you open up a booster pack of Prismatic Evolutions, you can expect on average about $3.36 worth of value every time you open that up. The problem comes in with the cost of the booster pack. So right now, Prismatic Evolutions is currently selling for about $8.46. This is down a little bit. You can see at one point in time, it was significantly higher, you know, selling for $12 in May. It did drop a little bit, then went up a little bit to about $11. Now it's come down a little bit to $8.46. With that being that expensive and the expected value that you're going to pull only being $3.36, that means every time you open up a pack of Prismatic Evolutions, you're basically throwing $5.10 away
every single time. So you just open up one pack and you go into it losing $5.10 immediately. Right now your master set cost is about $4,902 if you bought every single card. If you bought every single special illustration rare, every Pokeball reverse, every Master Ball reverse, and all the other rarities too. This isn't including the commons and uncommons and reverse holos. I didn't include those in there, but $4,902 is where you're at for the market price of every single special illustration rare and others. That's still a very high number, but the amount of packs you would have to open in order to get to that point would probably cost you, $50,000. So that's insane. But what's more insane, in my opinion, is this number right here. The fact that 36 packs is only going to yield you about $121 worth of value means that even at MSRP, if you were paying $5 per booster pack of Prismatic Evolutions or $5.50 or whatever the MSRP is, you're still way off the expected value. Again, you shouldn't expect to ever pull the same amount of value as you spend on something. I just don't think that you should ever expect to lose $5.10 every time you open up a booster pack. So the next time you see Prismatic Evolutions, you open it up. If you're paying MSRP, okay, you want to rip, you want to have fun, go nuts. But if you're paying closer to this market price right here, $8.46, you may want to just keep those packs sealed. You may just want to leave them alone because your expected value out of that pack is $3.36. If it's worth the fun, if it's worth the chase, if it's worth that $5.10 to you, that $8.46 per pack, like go nuts. Like obviously you should do what's best for your collection budget, but I wanted to put this information out there so that way you had it so you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collecting dollars. There's other sets out there that give you a better fun cost, that give you a better value potential to get back when it comes to spending your money. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, share the video, do the things. It goes a long way for the algorithm, really. Like every hype, everything that you do helps feed the channel out there more. So thank you so much. I love you guys. We'll be back on Sunday with another video, and hopefully soon Phantasmal Flames will arrive. We did get word that Elite Trainer boxes and 3-pack blisters are delayed. It doesn't look like it's going to impact booster boxes, sleeve boosters, check lanes, booster bundles, but it does look like ETBs and 3-pack blisters are delayed. So be careful with that because you'll probably see top-heavy prices right out of the gates because there's going to be a lack of product. There's going to be some scarcity going on for a few weeks. Once those initial wave gets out and we get that second wave, it's going to come down in price quite a bit, I would assume, but just be careful if you're somebody who's like, I need to get an ETB for Phantasmal Flames. You may want to wait a few weeks because it does look like there are delays. So I just want to make sure that I address that. Love you guys. I'll be back on Sunday with another video. Till next time. Peace.